Bro, I'm so glad I take videos of when I started back in the day. Before this room was the game dojo, when it was just white walls and a computer. This is before I got back all my original gaming systems, before I got back all my nostalgia, before I went and got back all my stuff. I literally started from the bottom. And when I mean started from the bottom, I started from the bottom. This joint here, this is one of my first setups. Two Logitech speakers and I think that was like I want to say a 24-inch monitor. But I had the Momo wheel. I had my wheel. I had my pedals. It was the beginning. It was the beginning of something special. I don't know if you can see it, but like right here, I have my camera sitting on like 3 shoe boxes. It was my cell phone. It was sitting on 3 shoe boxes, leaned up against a box of tissues. You want to talk about ghetto, brother? A box of tissues with 3 shoe boxes, and my camera was wedged, leaned up against it. My Samsung Galaxy S3. That's what I'm talking about. Like, absolutely amazing. Bro, when I mean started from the bottom, like, started from the bottom. And still I loved it. Still I loved the feeling. I was on there playing Euro Truck Simulator for hours. I still had my PC hooked up to it, so I had a lot of PC games and emulation. But I still was killing it. Every night I was on this joint for hours. Like, gaming always gave me an escape, an outlet. Like, the digital world was just something I was just uploaded in. Like, this world sometimes will just encompass you and snuff you out if you don't have the ability to escape to better things. And this was one of the things I used to escape through. My computer and gaming. This was hot for me back in the day. Look at that. That steering wheel was on point, man. That little steering wheel was on point. That little screen was on point. 19-inch. It was a 19-inch screen. 19-inch. And still I was busting it with a smile on my face. Didn't even know what I didn't have, because I didn't have it. But I was thankful for what I have. Not proud to what I have. Can I never be of what I hate? Bars. Yeah, that joint was tight. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't the level of what I have now. I ain't have, like, you know what I'm saying? Like now, you know what I'm saying, I got like the Blue Ice mic, you know what I'm saying, the Razer Keo, the $200 Razer, a Razer keyboard, you know what I'm saying, the Fire Cuda, Corsair mouse, like, bro, like, yeah, like the special Corsair mouse, like, this is a special mouse, yeah. This is a special mouse. This mouse is $200. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. I stepped my game up, but it was in integrals. I leveled up as my life leveled up. Until we have what you see around you. This joint was a labor of love. It started from the bottom. Now we here. I remember over my brother's house, my brother Phil's, we was busting Nintendo with my boy Deese and his nephew, Teron. Oh man, talk about fun times. It was always about fun, all love. It's what we do, bro. We had this thing like nobody could beat Tyson. Even on Jimmy Fallon, Mike Tyson played Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and Mike Tyson couldn't beat Mike Tyson. Unless I see you do it in front of me, it never happened. It never happened. Unless I see it in front of me, it never happened. All y'all who beat it, whatever. Unless I see it in front of me, never happened. My boy Phil, my brother Phil was having trouble with Princeton Honda.
Left, there you go. Oh! Now you can get up. There you go. Come on. Do the work, champ. Not like that, you ain't. Do the work, champ.
He almost had him, too. He has skills. I wouldn't mess with Phil, my brother Phil, on any Mortal Kombat game, but this is a different story.
Damn. I see nothing but sweat.
My man getting up.
Damn, Rock. Did the trainer die? I was thinking though.
This is when he fought Mike Tyson. So funny.
That you were challenging me on the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Now, my first upgrade came from my brother. He had a screen that somebody dropped off that he fixed and he made it. And the upgrade was this. So now you can see I went from that 19-inch to a 43-inch. And to me, that was exponential. That was the world. That was the world right there. That was world changing, because now I was in graphics that I ain't never seen. My sprites was bigger, the people was bigger, the gaming was bigger. That's a different story. Now you can see I got the Mario wheel here next to my my Logitech Momo wheel right here. Yeah, see what I'm saying? But at that time, that was the biggest upgrade for me. Now I was coming up in the world. Walls are still white. Nothing on them, but I was coming up. Integrals I was coming up in. Now, even with my upgrades, I still lived within that right means, because where I came from was old school gaming. So the first thing I did on my new screen, I could experience better graphics, but I wanted to enjoy the old school with the blend of the new. Now, that was before my upgraded keyboard, before my upgraded mouse, like just in steps. That was even before my upgraded PC. Like, my brother Phil, like, we got together on so much, and he helped me literally infuse my life with technology as I got better, as we both got better. We both leveled up our technology. He was doing the music aspect. Me, I was just gaming, because when I went over his crib when I was little, he had showed me something that I had never seen before. Hold on. Stop right there. He had showed me something I ain't never seen before. I was like, I came over his crib and he was like, yo, let me show you something. Like, you about to be living. And he was like, watch this. And he started up a NES. But it was crazy, because I he ain't have no NES on the table. That's a Nintendo Entertainment System. He ain't have it. Like, it's the big joint, big cartridges. You know what I'm saying? You got to blow on them to stick them in. He ain't even have it. And I'm like, what is it, under the table? Like, I didn't even see you put a cartridge in. Like, what's going on? He was like, nah, this is called emulation. Like, the people that create the systems also create it virtually on like hard drives and stuff. And this is before I was even in. I was always into computers, but I wasn't into the software aspect of what he was into. He had literally opened my world, because this goes way back. We can go back to when he had a ROM dumper and was dumping the actual games from like Nintendo and Super Nintendo onto drives. Like, he had a ROM dumper. I didn't even know what the hell a ROM dumper was. I didn't know what a ROM was. I didn't know what a megabyte, a terabyte, a kilobyte, a Cinnabite. Besides, you know what I'm saying, down at the mall, Cinnabites was delicious, especially with that sauce, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I ain't know nothing about it. And he put me on. And I was just, you got a Nintendo without a Nintendo? Like, how is this possible? And my brain just was just going. Never been the same since. Never been the same since. Every time I went around his crib, I think maybe I pushed him into a lot because he was always looking for new stuff. That's because every time I went to his crib, I'm just like, what you got? What you got? What you got new? What you got new? And then he showed me he had gotten all the games the next time I went over. And I was just like, 666 games, like, for Nintendo, like the Nintendo NES. This is insane. You got all the games, the entire collection on your computer. This is friggin' insane. Friggin' insane. And then I was just like, the problem is, you know what I'm saying? It would just be better if we had like an NES controller. If we had like an NES controller that you could somehow hooked up to your computer, it would complete the experience, because it would feel like a real NES experience. And he was just like, yeah, that would be banging. And at the time, this was ages ago. They didn't have those modified controllers like now. You can just go into Google or Amazon and type in, USB blah 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 controller, and it pops up, and there's 1,000 brands and 1,000 different controllers. Back then, they ain't have that. It wasn't out like that. People didn't know about emulation like that. So he came across, because he always willed and dealed, and came across, like, he sold stuff, got stuff, sold stuff, got stuff. So he had an NES controller, and I know that the computer used USB as, like, input and plugging stuff in, like mice and keyboard and stuff like that. This is after the actual round. Some of y'all remember like the purple port and the green port that used to be on the mouse and the keyboard. This was before the USB was big, like USB 1.0, and then 2.0 changed the world, then 3.0 and 4.0. This is like, we going back to the beginnings of all that. And this was, I think we just had like regular USB ports at the time. And since I was a kid, I used to always take stuff apart and put stuff together, splice wires to make stereo systems work, splice wires to do this and do that, pull stuff apart to see how it worked. That's how my brain was. So we meshed very well, because now I'm just like, you got the software aspect, but let me see if I could work on something hardware-wise. Because I was like, let me take this controller apart and check out what's going on the inside. I checked the wiring, I cut the sheath off the wiring, checked the wiring, checked everything back and forth in it, and then I had like a extra, like a USB mouse or something, and I cut the tip off, and I was checking the wiring, cut the sheath off, and was checking the wiring inside the mouse, and I was just like, yes, this is not possible, because the wiring is incompatible. And then I was just like, well, let me try something else. I tried a bunch of other USB things that I had that I didn't need, and I found some compatible wiring, and I was just like, well, let me splice it. I used some electrical tape to keep the connections from touching each other inside the sheath, and I wrapped it all up together, and I made it's actually up here on this wall. Hold on, let me show you. Right up there, not that one, that one. That is the actual USB NES controller that I spliced and made together. You can actually still see, where's my finger at? You actually still see the wire part that's spliced together with black electrical tape. Yeah, that's the first one I ever made. That's why I try to tell y'all everything on these walls has a story, because it does. Yeah, I keep telling y'all, everything on these walls has a story because everything has a story behind it. Nothing is just on my wall because I thought it was cool and I got it and I put it on the Game Dojo wall. Whether it's the Xbox wall, PlayStation wall, one Nintendo wall, or the other Nintendo wall, or the Sega walls. Nothing is on these walls without a story or a meaning. So I spliced that together, went over his crib, plugged it in, and it had like a mapping. You could map a controller. And we mapped, because at the time I think they had like basic USB controllers, but nothing felt like a real Nintendo would feel. So we popped that joint in there. My brother Phil, I don't know if you remember this, bro. This was so long ago. Popped it in there. And he was like, yo, it's working. Like, it really worked. And I'm like, yeah, it does. This is awesome. This is really work. And we played Nintendo for a while. And then he was like, I'm gonna look online and see if they actually have like a Nintendo branded one, and see if we could do like a Nintendo USB one, because, you know, it had some inconsistencies. It had problem with input lag and things like that. And then there was also aftermarket controllers that we went through. But we ended up settling and finding an actual USB Nintendo controller. And that changed the game for me, because now I'm like, I want more. So every week I was going over his crib. And every week it was something different. Like, he was like looking forward online, going and finding stuff and doing things. And he came over, was like, guess what? I got the Sega Genesis for you. And I'm like, Sega Genesis? Whoa! I got the Sega Master System. Whoa! Now we like 4, 5, 6 systems deep. And I'm like, I got to get these controllers now for these, because now we got the games, now we got the collections, now we got to get the controllers. And now I'm like, I got all those game systems on a PC. Like, PC is where it's at. Like, I don't care about consoles no more. PC is where it's at. And I jumped on the PC Master Race bandwagon because people was talking about what PC could do. And it was always like this elusive creature that you could never catch. And now I was a part of it, and I saw it. Like, once I saw it. And then Phil was like, well, why don't you just build yourself your own computer? You know what I'm saying? Instead of going to the store and spending like hundreds and hundreds of dollars and thousands of dollars on a computer, you know what I'm saying? You could build one, buy the parts, and you know what I'm saying? We could put it together. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know about that. So he was like, yo, I got a tower over here. So he sat down with me, took the tower apart, bit by bit, piece by piece, down to the motherboard, screws, memory, processor, power supply. And we talking at this time where they still had IDE drives. We talking about the little white chip where you could pop it out, where your drive had to be either master or slave. We talking about IDE drives. We ain't even talking about SATA right now. We ain't even talking about micro SATA, mini SATA. We ain't even talking about M.S. We ain't talking about none of that. We talking about IDE. If any of y'all know what an IDE is, it's that white component cable. They got like the 4 prongs in that joint that's like white. It's so old school, I can smell it. Like, just thinking about it, I can smell those connections from back in the day. And he showed me how it all plugs in and plugs out. And I was just like, I caught on to it very quickly. I was like, that's more simple than I ever thought building a computer would be. Like, I thought you had to be like a NASA MIT graduate, and Phil he was amazing. He is amazing. He's still amazing. And he showed me how to take it apart. And then he was just like, now you put it back together again. And I put it back together again. He was like, you just built your first computer. And I'm like, what? He was like, yeah. He's like, now the problem comes is when you build your computer and put all the stuff together, is sometimes something never works out exactly as you plan. And he's 100% right about that. Anybody who's ever built computers, anybody who's ever worked in that field knows that if everything goes according to plan on the first try, that is insanely amazing, because it does not happen that way. Normally there's always something wrong, a connection, an issue. Don't forget the thermal paste. The memory is in the wrong slots. The memory's not in the right way. Incompatible wires for this. The power supply is not strong enough. The Molex cables, like, there's a lot. You gotta get a fan for this. You gotta get a processor fan. There's always something that goes wrong. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong on these builds. So you got to have patience, because the first boot up is kind of like a NASA launch. You press that power button and you see the light come on and the fans come on, you hear it, you like, all right, and then it's hooked up to a screen. That's the thing you want. Like, most of the time we didn't even connect the keyboard and mouse, we just want to see it boot up. That was the goal, the boot up. That was the launch. And a lot of times you didn't. You got screen of death, you got no connection, you got errors where it didn't read, there was nothing there, a hard drive error. Then you got to learn how to format a hard drive the right way, how to install Windows, create partitions, backup partitions. That's when we started getting into the meat and potatoes of dealing with a computer. And he is absolutely a genius at this stuff, but he was teaching me as an apprentice, and he was showing me something like, you're talking about like Jedi and apprentice ships. Like, he was a master showing me things that I never knew was possible. And then I started going on bookses. Did I say bookses? That's pretty bad. Bookses. Damn, can't erase that one. I'm gonna do the Chandler thing. Nah, but I started reading books, going online, learning coding, binary character mapping, studying things, Info, GroovePass, OneNote, Lotus, Fedora Core, Ubuntu, learning different operating systems, learning how to do a dual boot, learning about Boot Camp Assistant with Mac, which is the ability to install Windows inside of a Mac on a dual partition. Creating a dual partition on a hard drive where you have Windows and run Linux or Ubuntu, Fedora Core, command prompt, which I like command prompt better than I liked Windows, because I like the ability to with command prompt I could do anything and everything I wanted to do, and my computer understood it. It's like talking your computer's language. It's so much better. And I started getting into everything. So my first build was Project Optimus Rain. We found it was a compact Presario. It was a bastardized version of a compact Presario mixed in with parts, and that is another story altogether. Compact Presario, that is a cursed system here in the Game Dojo. Don't bring your compacts in here. Don't have a compact Presario. I don't care. If I see that compact logo on anything, you getting kicked out the dojo. That, I can't tell you how many times me and him went through some of the craziest things in my entire life with some compact Presario towers, components, and things. Like, they was the cheapest and most efficient systems to get, because everybody was just getting rid of them, and we had them out in like abundances. It was just a way to get them easy. But on the same token, you could swap out other parts for newer parts and max out certain things, so it made them highly upgradable and easy to do. But when it came to compacts, at one point my compact Presario only worked with the drive on the outside, and it wasn't a wiring issue. Like, the same wires, all the cables, everything was brand new, point to point, everything brand new. You put it inside the computer, slide it into the tray, don't work. You take that same drive, leave the wires attached, set it outside, functioning. I was like, maybe it's the drive. Tried another drive, tried another cable, tried another connection, tried another computer tower. Same thing. It's insane. Swap out a motherboard for another motherboard, Windows pops up. The same Windows. Not even the same hard drive. How does Windows, is it installed on a motherboard? But how could the Windows be installed on a motherboard if it's a different motherboard that we have now, but Windows popped up? We ain't even using the same drive. Like I said, witchcraft. Compacts, witchcraft, went through some crazy stuff. We just learned to get away from compacts. So that was originally my first build. After that, we got the Transformer Tower, the NZXT Transformer face with the metal plate in front of it, with their glowing eyes and a little screen on top. That was a beautiful design. All the parts inside of it, razor sharp. You sticking your hands in there trying to move something, turn something, slice, 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 slice. I don't know why the components inside that case was razor sharp, But if you needed to fix something in your computer, you're going to pay for it with blood. Blood, sweat, and tears, that's what they meant. You got blood, sweat, and tears. That was awesome. But that was the forefront of what we started doing. And my brother Phil B. Jackson, check him out on YouTube. He does music, Camden's own finest old school brother when it comes to singing, music, and making amazing melodies. Oh my God, like I said, it's nostalgia. I could talk nostalgia all day long. But let's jump back into this real quick before I bore you too much. Just saying, like I was just saying, so you think I ain't bullshitting?
PS2 controller. Always. Dual analog. Because as I said before, if you're going to play a game on PC, you might as well have the full experience. So there you go. And we're doing this actually on a 40-inch screen.
2005. Like I said, PlayStation 2 with a PlayStation controller on PC, not console. My man was Doctor Strange before Doctor Strange was known to me.
PS2. Fly away.
Absolutely amazing experiences. If y'all wondering about the process of what I was talking about, it was just gritty nights over his crib near his down floor area, brainstorming, working with chipsets, screwdrivers, microchips, like coming up with things that was amazing. Me dragging my heavy ass tower over there, working on it. Like we got upgrades and installs. Like we was going crazy. I ain't have the net at the time. I was the young and the netless. Bloom, bloom, bloom. That should actually be a novella or a soap opera. The Young and the Netless. But if you was wondering about what that process looked like, I'm gonna give y'all a small, intricate little peek on it right now. Okay?
All right.
Check it out.
Okay.
It's my brother messing around with the Niga arcade stick for PC. But we wanted to bust Mortal Kombat, the arcade experience. That's right, see that? We always wanted the best experience we could, closest to the original thing. So this is an arcade controller. This is the arcade controllers that we popped on there.
All right, just bring it to me. About an hour.
Told you he the shiz in Mortal Kombat.
All right. I don't know. I might be recording an epic Phil Ross right here. Melina texting that ass. See, looking good for Mr. Zero. Don't make me do the Arnold voice if you lose from Total Recall. I mean, from Running Man. Here's Sub-Zero! Now, playing Zero!
Told you, all fun, all amazement. I guess that's what you would call like workshop brainstorm meetings. By the way, we was messing with MAME at the time. It was MAME. Don't jump.
Ah, there it is. That was good.
My boy was bad. I told you. Boy is bad. And we did it all. Old school, new school. That's when I was busting an Atari 2600 with the 2600 controller on PC.
It's on PC. Now I know some of you guys haven't seen this controller for a very long time. That's okay, but like I always say,
Me and them modified controllers, man, I was making everything work on PC, bro. I was getting better with my wiring and everything else. Bro, like two urban geniuses collectively coming together on hardware and software to make a better experience in a better world for the purposes of gaming and fun and entertainment. That's where your boy the Game Ninja come from. That's the roots of the Game Ninja, brother. Yes. Why would you bust Atari? Because I can. Because I can. That's why. I don't care if it's the year 30,090. Because I can, bro. That's why. We was busting 32X.
And as always, we're using that Sega Genesis controller, baby. It's time to take it back. We're gonna flash you back.
6-button controller, not 3 buttons, 6-button controller for the 32X. Bro, you gotta love it. You have got to love it. You've gotta love it. Afterburner. You have no idea what gaming is if you ain't done old school gaming. This was the forefront of technology. This was the birth and the beginning of a digital revolution that nobody would even remotely have an inkling of how big it will become. All in fun and pure joy of gaming. This is what gaming is about. Sega CD too.
Sega CD. I know, taking you way back.
Bro, we did it all.
Back. Enjoy. This is Game Ninja. You remember Sega CD had the real TV scenes? Look at this. You know what, I'm not gonna lie, that's actually pretty banging that you're playing actual parts of the movie.
I just recently installed and played this in 2024. Corpse Killer. I am so proud of myself as a gamer. There's nothing wrong. I have the Hellblade. I have the newest up-to-date games. I bust them too. So it's not, I don't want you to feel like I'm just retro. I am all things gaming, digital, analog, physical, VR, AR. If it's gaming, you won't find a Game Ninja somewhere around just looking, tasting, learning. That's how the Game Ninja roll. But yeah, that's how we roll. That is the pure joy of gaming. It's not about fighting. It's not about killing. It's not about any aspect of exploit. It's about the pure joy of gaming. Look around this room. I have every console ever invented. Every handheld ever invented, except for the original Game Boy. I have every other one but the original Game Boy. And I don't have a GameCube, an actual physical GameCube. I have the MU, but I don't have the physical GameCube. That's one I'm still looking for, and I would like to get the Power Glove. The Power Glove don't work. I just want it as a trophy on my wall because it's the one thing I've always wanted from my childhood that I've never really gotten. I don't care if it work or not. My hand is big as hell. You see that hand? Look at the size of that hand. I could wipe my ass and scratch my head at the same time. That hand is a big hand. That is a ginormous hand. My Power Glove probably wouldn't even fit on that hand. I even got to the point where I was like, yo, I'm gonna make a Power Glove. And I probably will. But that is the last defining piece on my wall. And it's funny because I had the Nightmare Creature in here for the first time. She looked around at all my controllers, 240, looked around at all my controllers and everything I have on the wall and was just like, this is amazing. Where your Power Glove? And I was just like, this is why we instantly just clicked. That's why we instantly clicked. Out of all the beautiful nostalgia and all the amazing things you see around this entire room, 240 controllers, you picked the one thing I'm missing that I obsessed over? The Power Glove. Instantly, click, we clicked. I was like, I love you. But that was awesome. And that's why me and the Nightmare Creature, we just click. We click. That's why. Because she was just on that point. Not to mention, I haven't found too many girl gamers. She's a different gamer. She's more cell phone and analog and board game, but I'm down with it too. I can't tell you how many times we done bust Battleship, Monopoly, Uno, chess, checkers. Like, yeah. Bruh can throw down. I can throw down. I'm the game ninja. I ain't say just digital games. I said game. Yeah, you can challenge me some games of chess. Brother will do it. I got Wizard's Chess installed on my computer. That's right, Harry Potter, Wizard's Chess. I even got the 3-dimensional Star Trek chess with the 3 different levels. Yeah. Brother, don't sleep on the game ninja. I'm all things gaming. Analog, digital, AR, VR. That's right, I'm out there. I'm out there on the forefront of the technology. Out there with the VR. Hey, I had the Oculus Gear VR Samsung before y'all even knew it. I had the Oculus Rift before y'all even knew what VR was talking about. I'm not talking about the MetaQuest. I'm not talking about the one that's just trapped on Facebook. I'm talking about the real Joan. That's right. Brother was out there. Merge cubes, AR, VR technology. Brother was there on the forefront of all of this. That's why I'm the game ninja. Bro. I know. And then I started getting into that next gen along with the old school and next gen, and it was just a different frame to life, a different feel. How many of y'all remember this one? Yeah, I had to stop that because I was gonna get a copyright infringement on that one. But yeah, I literally, because I had PC, I could put music on in the background, have it come into the game while I'm playing. So yeah, that was Juvenile's, huh? And it made that scene so much better. I'm gonna give y'all 9 seconds. 9 seconds. 8 seconds of how cool this is, and then you'll get it. 8 seconds. 8 seconds. All right. 8 seconds. That's you that badass nigga. That's you that can't keep old lady because you keep fucking your friends now. You gotta go to court now. You gotta serve the 15 for child support now. That was their nerve now. Do you see how it literally changes the intensity of the game? You can't do that on console. You can do that on PC. Being able to put my own music, even though they had a great soundtrack inside the car, but being able to do that, put music on, interject it, and have it play while I'm playing certain parts of the game. And that's what I'm talking about when I say experience. When you experience a game, it's different from just playing it. Some people play a game, oh, I beat the game. I beat all 12 hours of it in one day. For what? What did you achieve? Did you enjoy it? Did you do side quests? Did you 100% it? Are you just wanted to speed run? I hate speed running because you ain't accomplishing nothing. You just going through it and you're like, oh, well, I did this and did that. You didn't do nothing. You didn't enjoy the game. You're not a gamer. You're not experiencing it. Like, there's an experience that you're missing when it comes to gaming. And that's where I live. That's where I rap. That's where I go. That's what I'm about. I'll give y'all 7 more seconds. 7 more. That's it. I'm gonna get in big trouble for this, but 7 more seconds. Like I said, absolutely amazing experience. Absolutely amazing experience. And that's what the Game Dojo, Game Ninja, Gamer Nation is all about. the experience. You wondering why I have the wheel, the brake pedal and systems. You wonder why I have the yaw, the thrust, and the flight sticks. You wonder why I come in here to play a game with the flight simulator and I have the flight helmet and the straps. You wonder why I got the dirt bike helmet. Like, you wondering why I have all these things is because I'm in it for the experience. Ain't because people back here, why ain't because that's horrible grammar. Yeah, I don't care. It's not because, see, I know the correct grammar for it. It's not because people are around watching me. I could give a damn if somebody's around watching me. I'm enjoying it. I'm in the game. And sometimes if I look down and I have the rifle or the gun, or I have the clothes and the armor on, or the flight helmet or the goggles and the sticks, like, I feel like not only am I in the game, but I'm in the game. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's a different experience. So yeah, I go all out. But at the end of the day, who's getting more out of that game? Somebody who one-shots it in 6 or 7 hours, hardly going to remember anything they did, what they did, where they went through, no side missions. Or somebody who's sitting back drinking Kool-Aid through a red vine with Mario Kart full gear on, with a Mario hat, Mario white gloves, and a Mario suit, and a Mario steering wheel, busting Mario Kart. Who's having a better experience? Honestly. Yeah, that's right. And that's the purpose. That's what I mean when I say experiencing games. And we did everything, every system. When I mean every system, I mean every system. Every system. Including Xbox. This is an old ass video. I'm glad I still have it, but it's an old ass video. Fun, but an old ass video. I think this is like Halo 2. I think this is Halo 2. Like I said, fun, joy, and excitement.
Once again, this is the Xbox running Halo on a PC. This is not the console. And we are using our official Xbox controller, Xbox One.
Now, when I say Xbox One, I ain't mean Xbox One. I mean the original Xbox. Because Xbox named their consoles crazy as hell. Xbox, then it came out the Xbox 360. So you're like, Xbox 420? No. After Xbox 360, Xbox One. What? Then One X, and then X, and then Xbox Series X and Series S. Like, y'all just confusing as hell. Sony, PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, it's simple, guys. Xbox 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could have done it. I like 360, but then maybe should have come up with like 420, 480, Xbox 690, 720, 741. I don't know. Like, y'all could have kept going up exponentially in numbers. Like, to jump back from 360 to 1 is confusing, because now we say Xbox One. Are you talking about Xbox One, the original? Or are you talking about Xbox One, the one? So why it's confusing when it comes to Microsoft. My Microsoft brothers and sisters. I love Xbox. I love Microsoft. I also love PlayStation, Sega. But Sega Master System, Sega Genesis, Sega CD, Sega 32X, Atari Jaguar. You see how they name their systems so that you get it? I don't know why Xbox decided to just do that to people. That's mind-boggling. I think even the Big Bang Theory made a joke about it. It's mind-boggling, bruh. But anyway, even Xbox. So now at this point in my virtual MU docudrama, I've gone through every system from ColecoVision, Commodore 64, all the way up until Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, Sega, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Atari Jaguar, Atari Lynx, TurboGrafx 16. Like, we've gone through all of them, and there was just more to do. And then we found the Wii. Now, the great thing about Dolphin is that you can go inside Dolphin and its infrastructure and take a real Wii controller, which is Bluetooth, if your PC is Bluetooth compatible, pair that real nunchuck to the actual game and play the game with a Wii nunchuck. So you can play a Wii without a Wii with a real Wii Bluetooth controller. It's insane. Absolutely insane. But you gotta love it because the experience is better than that. You get the nunchuck, you plug it into the nunchuck into the hand grip, and you're just like, I'm playing a Wii without a Wii. It's literally like taking a sling ring and doing a Doctor Strange and open up a portal. This is the magic of microchips and software infrastructure invading into a new form, a new platform, a new plane of existence, the digital world. And it's absolutely amazing. You could bust, that's right. And it hasn't stopped. So now up into the year 2024, programming and smart programming has just gotten better and better and better. Every one of these console systems I have physically, and there's nothing wrong with busting it physically. But let's say if you like the new TV I got, it has no composite, no RCA. It has no optical port, just HDMI. Now you have to find those old systems and figure out a way to get converters to have them work on this new system, which is a hack. It is a hack, whether you want to admit it or not. It's a hack, trying to figure out how to take something and make it work on a different platform that it's not natively used for. That's a hack. It's hacking. But hack the planet! Hack the planet! Hack the planet! Fire it up! Fire it up! Fire it up! Fire it up! That's The Crow. Never mind. Anyway, anytime I hear hack the planet, it just, never mind. These newer systems and newer generation of TVs and hardware, they're trying to forget about the past. The analog, the way of the analog is over. It's all digital now. They want to forget about the analog. But just like the samurai being phased out in Japan, we cannot go forward until we know where we've been. And there is a necessary thing that has to be paid in going forward. And most of us dinosaurs, we're not going to fall on that sword. We're not going to die on that hill. We demand our childhoods. We demand the greatness and joy when it comes to gaming. And unfortunately, that's where you have this clash. That's where you have this gigantic war and digital clash. Because you have the have-nots wanting the haves. And then you have the haves wanting to destroy what used to be. But if you destroy the platform that you're standing on, you're gonna fall. The original gaming is where, that's the forefather, that's the building blocks of everything we have today in gaming. Without those forefathers, without those grandfather consoles, without those original old small 8-bit pixel sprites, you can go back to, I go back to, it's gonna sound bad because it shows my age, but you can go back to Commodore 64, ColecoVision. You go back to when Apple had the printer that was attached to the paper on the side and you had to break the edges off and the whole printer just would print out into a box on the floor. Math maze, we can go back. But what I'm saying is, that's the building blocks of who we are, and you should embrace it. You shouldn't destroy it. You should embrace it. And that's the problem, because we have two gaming cultures. We have the people who want to destroy the old because they ain't with it and it's stupid and it's horrible and they don't understand it. And then you have these people trying to explain that everything you have comes from that, and there is joy in that still that can be found. And if you would take 2 seconds to go back and bridge that gap, you might find a fun factor in a game that you never would have played, never even would have heard of, never even would have thought of, but is literally the best thing you've ever done in your life. There's a video of a father. His son wanted I think his son wanted a PS5, and he couldn't afford it. So he went to the closet up in the attic and brought out his old Super Nintendo. He had like something like 80 games, 2 controllers, and he put it down and started playing with his son. 2 hours later, his son couldn't put it down. His son was hooked on Super Nintendo. His son was playing almost every game they had inside. I think it's outside that in solitary week. Every time he came home from school, he did his homework, he did everything else. He gave himself an incentive and a goal and a joy just so he could jump on the Super and play. While most of his friends are busting PS5 or Xbox One, Series X or Series X, he is on Super Nintendo with a joy that those PS5 people probably don't even have and understand. But the simplicity of those games is they may have not have had the graphics, but they damn sure had fun factor. Some of these modern gamings have forgot that. Some of these modern games are amazingly graphically wonderful to look at. You're like, it looks like real life. It's absolutely amazing. But there's no fun factor. No fun factor at all. These games back in the day, teams of people thought up the fun factor. It's a different level of thinking than it was today. Games were invented to enjoy. Now they're invented to make money. Which, I get it. You want to make money off your game. Nintendo literally became an empire. But it came an empire off of fun factor. During COVID, when Xbox was struggling and PlayStation was struggling, did you notice Nintendo never faltered? When there was no consoles for the Xbox or no PlayStation consoles, you still had Switches selling out hand over hand in those stores. Mario Kart has never not sold off the shelf. This is what I mean when fun factor wins overall. There's nothing wrong with graphics, nothing wrong with next gen technology. But to bridge that gap, don't forget about the fun factor. Don't forget about the fun factor. Otherwise, you don't have a bridge. You have a gap. And you're going to lose people on both sides. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining me here in the Game Dojo and taking a trip down memory lane with me. This was fun. And now you know that every piece in this room has a story and that it came from something great, a great gaming moment, a great gaming joy. And I think that's the name of this video. Great Gaming Moments with your host, the Game Ninja. I like that. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, until next time, keep that game tight like Kobe did on game night. Your game is on and it's strong. And when it's on, it's like hot buttered popcorn. So maybe in another game, another time, another round, maybe I'll be right side up and you'll be upside down. Maybe I'll tell you what that means one day. Or if you figure it out, put it in the comments. Until next time, I love you and I love this. Take care, ladies and gentlemen.
That was Mortal Kombat on Genesis. Sega Genesis on the PC with the actual Genesis controller. Doing the black code ABACABB for those of you who don't remember. And the cheese factor is just, oh my god, I can't believe, like, back in the day, this is the cutting edge. He was like, this is the best thing in the world. This is Game Ninja. Take care.